So we are going to be doing another Halloween-themed hit list right now. So, Mr. Jericho, if you do not mind.
You just made the list!
That is right. It is time once again for the hit list, where we take 6 of a particular topic in heavy metal, or in this case, horror movies, and we make ourselves the top 3 list each, giving you guys the results. We're stepping away from heavy metal for this one, in honor of the fact that we're doing this for the 13 days of Halloween, and we are going to be talking about horror movies, particularly ones that ain't so good.
Bad horror movies, but with good scenes.
Yes. These don't have to be terrible horror movies in any sense. They can't be like atrocities, but they can be things where you look at it and you go like, well, this is dumb. But I really like that.
Yeah. It can be a movie that we actually love, but we both know that it's just not that good of a movie.
I think like maybe with like one exception on either of our lists, and I can't tell which one, I'm pretty sure that we like all of these movies.
Yeah, I think so.
So, and again, if you guys have suggestions for hit lists in the future, facebook.com/The Shred Shack. Let us know what you guys want to hear us talk about. I will start off.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that not a lot of people have seen this movie.
I don't even think I have.
I have come across it several times on YouTube, and that's where I first heard about it.
Okay.
It's called Sweatshop. Here's the plot of the movie. Basically, a bunch of teenagers try to clear out a warehouse so that they can have a rave in it. And there is one person in the warehouse who doesn't want them to be there, and it's a gigantic dude with a hammer.
Okay.
So, naturally, the best scenes in this movie involve him just beating the crap out of people with a hammer.
What is with horror movies and with kids having raves?
I don't know. Like, did you know any kids in high school who were willing to, like, go through abandoned buildings to set up raves?
No. And I came from a rich town.
Maybe we weren't hanging out with the right people.
No, we weren't.
But there's a couple of scenes in this one that just involve him just literally taking the hammer and just smashing people with them. And the effects are hit or miss. Some of them are great and some of them are terrible. One of them that is absolutely amazing is that he literally, there's a girl lying down on a table, and he just takes the hammer and just smashes it down on the bottom half of her body, and it knocks it completely off. But the end of the movie is the scene that I'm going for with this. They actually have the rave. People are dead. Like, throughout this movie.
So people have been dying through... I thought this was during the rave that these murders were happening.
No, this was while they were trying to set it up.
Okay.
And then they have the rave. Like, apparently all the deaths that led up to it weren't enough to stop them from having a good
we're still doing this.
The guy gets loose in the crowd and just starts bashing people like crazy. The one survivor, there is one survivor in the entire rave. She gets out of the party and the sliding doors to the warehouse close, and you just hear the sounds of the hammer hitting flesh and bodies hitting the thing, while she just stands there and you don't see anything with her. It had a lot of stupid crap leading up to it, but it was at least like an attempt to do something kind of interesting, and I appreciated that.
That's very good. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. I don't recommend it, but I'll send you like a YouTube clip of like one of the deaths.
Yeah,
That's all you need to watch.
send me that.
That's all you need to watch.
Okay, my number 3 pick is for Jeepers Creepers 2.
It isn't dead.
Looks dead to me.
Jeepers Creepers 2.
All right. I have never seen either of the Jeepers Creepers.
Okay, if you're gonna watch them, watch number 1.
Okay.
You can just kind of skip around in number 2.
All right.
But pretty much the plot is there's this ancient monster that appears every, like, I believe it's 28 years. It wakes up and it feeds for 28 days. And then it goes back to sleep.
Isn't that the plot of It?
That's pretty much the plot of almost every movie, like horror movie with a monster. But the thing is, though, the creature is very selective about what he wants.
Okay.
So he won't just kill randomly. He actually goes from person to person that he runs into and selects specific body parts.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not creepy in the slightest.
Yes. Pretty much how the plot of the sequel is. Same thing, monsters wake, going around killing people. He ends up finding a school bus going home from a rousing football game in the middle of Midwestern America.
Oh,
all
Lord.
these kids are excited, all the football players, the coaches, the cheerleaders, and the bus driver. He starts off by disabling the bus.
All right.
Then he takes out the bus driver and the coach.
Okay.
And all the kids are wondering, what's going on? What's going on? All of a sudden, he just slams into the bus. And they're all staring at it. All the students are all terrified. They're all screaming. You just see him just staring them all down. Just looking around at all of them. Eventually, he'll see him start sniffing through the window, actually, at some of the kids, and then you'll see, smile come up, or just frown, and you look at another one, and he just does this to, all the kids.
Like he goes through them one
He goes
by
through
one.
them, one by one, just staring at them all, seeing, what he wants.
Well, I'm creeped out. I guess I got to see this thing.
Yes. The rest of the movie's kind of hokey with some of the deaths. Literally at one point, you see him break through the top of the bus, and his wings just surround this one kid, and then they come back up. The wings are gone. The kid's entire upper body, his shirt and his jacket are all gone. His head's missing.
Cool.
But it's the hokiest looking dummy ever.
Yeah, I really need to see this.
It's a pretty good movie. The second one is more for laughs. The first one is more for thrills.
All right. I mentioned Frank Darabont this month because I was talking about The Mist. I also mentioned Frank Darabont because when I was talking about his lower points, I mentioned The Fly 2.
Oh, yeah.
We just got a chance to watch The Fly in the theater, and it was really fun and really cool, and The Fly 2 is none of those things.
No.
The Fly 2. Like father, like son.
It follows Brundle's son as he, that dream sequence in The Fly where apparently that actually happened. And he becomes a human, but he ages really quickly because he's a fly. And eventually he just becomes the fly creature. Except it looks 10 times worse.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really liked from The Fly, the first one, that I don't think they really went about going too in-depth with, was the fact that he spit acid. He had a moment where he basically melted a dude's leg, and that was pretty crazy. This one, the fly creature is trying to escape, and it corners a security guard and just full-on spits in his face.
There's no sign of him anywhere.
And there's an amazing shot as the guy literally tries to wipe away the acid and ends up literally pulling his whole face off. It's not the most convincing effect,
But it's
what the movie needed in that moment.
Yes.
And I remember, before I even saw the movie, I saw somebody posted a GIF of that, and I was like, what? Where is that from? And then I looked at the movie, and I'm like, that's where it's from? All right.
Okay.
I'll take it. But yeah, I don't recommend seeing that movie at all, but
Yeah, just look up the scene.
watch that scene. Yeah.
My number 2. We both love this movie.
Yes.
We both love ourselves some zombies.
I think you like it a lot more than I do, but I enjoy it.
Yes, and we both love ourselves some good music.
The return of the living dead.
It's dumb, but it's fun.
It's dumb, but it's fun. It's stupid and funny. We love it. For those who have not seen it, I'm sorry for you. Pretty much a group of punk rock, 1980s punk rock kids
With cool names like
Suicide and Trash and
yeah.
oh boy.
Because you know the punk kids you knew from school who had names like Garbage and Dumpster Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not like John and Greg.
Yeah. But pretty much one of the group of kids, one of their friends got a job at a medical supply company. Mm-hmm. And the medical supply company has, a really old owner who's, kind of the gruff type and a really stupid employee.
Yeah.
He decides to introduce the kid that they have some medical barrels downstairs because the Night of the Living Dead movie, which is canon as a movie in that,
Yes.
says, oh yeah, we have some, the zombies are downstairs in these barrels. It was all based on a true story. They end up releasing the chemical and bringing back all the things that are dead in the medical supply place back to life. Including one of my personal favorite zombies in this movie, the tar zombie.
Who's there?
He's trying to literally take a door off its hinges with a crank.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
Zombies using, like, high-tech machines
Yes,
is
and
kind of terrifying.
Speaking,
Yeah.
all the punk rock kids run downstairs by the big tough guy who thinks going to be the hero of the story. And they've removed some tarp or something. The sound that it makes is a literal crunch. It is gory. It is lovely. It was my favorite scenes, hands down, in that movie.
My favorite was just down to 3 words, which is send more paramedics. This is not a hot take. Jason X was a dumb movie.
Yes, it was.
I don't think he's out there.
Why don't you just stick your head out and have a peek?
I just remember just the one scene where he's standing behind the guy and the guy goes, "It's okay, he just wanted his machete back."
Oh, God,
which
yeah.
is the dumbest line. But the whole movie is, okay, for those of you who don't know, Jason from the Friday the 13th movie, this is the one where it goes off the rails. More so than when he got struck by lightning, more so than when he was Corey Feldman all grown up and turned into a monster.
And more so than when he went to Manhattan.
Surprisingly more so than when he went to hell.
Yes.
This was where he went to space. The place where no horror icon can ever come back from.
Yep.
The Leprechaun couldn't come back from that.
Yep.
Hellraiser couldn't come back from space. Hellraiser went into a video game after that.
Yep.
If they shoot Michael Myers into a space, Halloween is dead no matter how many reboots they try.
Yep.
But Jason got sent into space, cryogenically frozen, so he stayed alive. And there is the scene where they are literally thawing him out. He just Undertakers the hell out of that sit-up. He looks over, sees her, and here's the thing that I didn't know. Jason knows what liquid nitrogen is.
Yeah.
Because he tries to drown her in the liquid nitrogen. It doesn't work because her face freezes. He pulls her head out and then just smashes it on the table. It's the single most creative, funny death in the entire series. More so than when he's in the hologram chamber and he
Yes.
kills the girls with the sleeping bags.
Yes, more so than that.
But Jason X, I would recommend that you watch it once.
Just for the laughs.
Just for the hell of it. But if you actually want like a good scene from it that you think is kind of creative and kind of interesting, that's it.
Yeah, that was the most creative death in that, definitely. My last pick for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
We go from Jason to Freddy.
A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3.
I don't know how I feel about this movie. I've watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. This one I think is probably the start of like...
This is the start of the goofiness.
This is where it starts. It's not completely over the top, but it's enough. Like, he kills one person by turning his fingers into syringes and giving them an overdose.
Yeah.
Like, that's corny.
Let's get high.
But my personal favorite is this one girl. She's sitting alone in the I guess living room, watching TV. All of a sudden, guess who shows up on TV? Our favorite serial killer.
Can I ask you something?
Certainly.
Who gives a fuck what you think?
Freddy goads the girl to come closer and closer to the TV, where he literally pops out of the TV, grabs her, and slams her head into it.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
I love two things about that. I love the latex effect for how it actually folds out his head. I think that looks amazing.
That effect is just awesome.
And I've mentioned this before, but the one-liner that accompanies it is
the
best. Welcome to prime time, bitch. And then the satisfying thud of the body going in. It's one of those deaths in the early series that it could have been really, really corny if they had given it any less care.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So it worked out.
It fits. It works out. I unfortunately hate the rest of the movie.
Oh, come on. You don't like the idea of the Dream Warriors? And that soundtrack from Dokken?
In the name of Lorik, Prince of Elves, demon be gone!
No. Just no.